Right, so here's my take on Assetto Corsa EVO. Now, it's in VR, and I'm going to show you every track, every car, timestamps below. Enjoy. Well, we get a much better start than the AI here. We're in the, what is it, the Abarth 695 Biposto or whatever. Fiat 500 to us. It's a Fiat 500 with a tuned Abarth engine in it. And it's a good car. It's comfortable to drive. It's very stable considering it's quite small. And it's got a H-pattern gearbox, so I love that. And we are here at Brands Hatch, which actually looks beautiful. Very well done track design, as you'd expect from Kunos. Oh, as we go off to the wrong way, that's going to push us down the order. We got an unsafe rejoin, but that's fine. The AI not taking advantage, going round me, just sat right up my arse. But we're going to have to swap into, and we're in the Alfa Giulia for the final part of this race then at Brands Hatch. Another beautiful car. This one hasn't got the H-pattern shifter, but the paddle shifters work very well. It's a bit more of a handful than the Abarth, but it's beautiful inside. And it's certainly a car that I'm going to enjoy racing. I can see this being more of an open world car that people use. Oh, as we nearly lose it. Are we going to get overtaken? No. Heading towards the last final corner. Across the line then. That is Brands Hatch. And that is the Abarth and the Alfa. Well, this is the Alfa Romeo Junior then. Now this is an electric car, so it's pull it in drive and go. No worries about changing gears, and it's not an automatic, it's a single drive. It's a one gear. Now, I don't think they've got the torque settings quite right for electric cars because they feel so much more punchy than a petrol car or than a combustion car. But in this, you don't feel the punch, you just feel it sort of wallow on. Now, I drive EV in real life, so I should be able to beat these AI. I've got the experience needed. I've got over 100,000 EV miles in my real car, so now that is the first EV of the game. Now let's move on to the Alpine A110 S. This one's coming out of the pit lane. I'm not sure what the hell's gone on there. It must have crashed earlier and teleported back to the pits. And we are fighting for the lead of this race at Brands Hatch Indy circuit, so it's a lot shorter. That is us into the lead. This is a lovely car. That's what it's about, really, looking at the cars. I'm testing every car, getting a good look at them all in VR as well. And testing every track as well that's currently out. Now, I already know my favourite car track combination, and you'll see that later on in the game, and that is a win for us. We'll take that. Now let's go to the next track, which is Imola. Now here we are in the Alpine then, the most futuristic car that's in the game. It really does almost look like a Mars bloody rover on the inside. It's actually got 3 seats, which is interesting. Get to sit in the middle. Look, you've got a bucket seat there and there. I mean, you wouldn't want You'd only want 2 little kids next to you, I believe. But it is a strange one. I'm not sure I like this car in the game because it's kind of too, I don't know, I just don't like it. Now I am a huge fan of electric cars, so it's not that, it just doesn't feel like a car to me, this one. But I would own it in real life if I had a chance. No doubt about it. I just don't think they got the torque settings right on the EVs. The EVs have a lot more torque than this in real life, so it might be something to change, it might not. But anyway, let's move on. We're in the Audi RS 3 Sportback then. This is a nice car to drive. Audis have always been quite nice, but it's not really a race car to me. It's not one that I'm going to be racing around in very much. It's got the flappy paddle gearbox, but I think there's better cars to race in. This is more of a car to cruise around in, and all those Audi owners would just be like, oh yeah, I'll get that. I've had that in real life. The brakes aren't too great either, but we are going to get it slowed down and take the lead for the final part of this race then. At Imola, which is a brilliant recreation of a track that I absolutely adore, so I'm very happy with this track and this car. There's no complaints, it's just not quite as fun as others. Right, let's move on. Now this is actually a proper race car then, the BMW M2 CS. Now, it's at Laguna Seca, which is another track I like, but I'm certainly no good at it. No good at all. We run it out wide there, force the guy off the circuit, run him out of space. It's a fun dark car to drive this. I've raced it in iRacing a little bit, as you've seen probably. I actually prefer it in this though. iRacing's just got that tyres that just slide and slide, and it feels more realistic in this to me. I mean, I've not got much experience, I wouldn't take that. I take everything I say with a pinch of salt when it comes to how the car handles or anything, because I've only got experience of sim racing, to be honest. But this car is very good. We jump into the BMW M4 just as we get to the corkscrew then. Now this is another lovely car. This one isn't a race car, but it's beautiful to handle and it handles very well. Well, we're not gonna be able to get this place. Now, this is one of the few tracks where the AI have a slight issue. Now, we'll follow this car, see if he does it, but they do tend to just drive into the wall there on the left. So, he didn't do it, but they will do that, so they need a little bit of work on Laguna Seca. And where we're going next, they need a bit of work too. Right, we're going to start and we're going to drop slightly back at the start because this track has some issues. Look at the cars going on the grass for no apparent reason. And we'll go wide because look, they do it here as well. Look at them all driving on the grass. The whole lot of them. So the AI certainly needs some work as it's caused absolute carnage. Now, that's no fault of the layout of the track, but the AI just needs to be trained a bit better. Oh my god, not even going quick and we're struggling. Now, as for the Camaro, I do love it. With H-pattern shifter. Get it going. Oh, don't go down in too low a gear though, otherwise you will spin out. And that's the end of that race. Let's move on to the full Suzuka layout then. I love the rev counter on the steering wheel in this Ferrari G296. You can just see all them red warnings on the right hand side suggesting that cars are just not sticking to the track, going off the track wherever they can. Though Suzuka, unfortunately, at the moment isn't really workable if you want to race with the AI. It's fun to drive, but you can't really race anyone at the minute, so that needs some work. I'm actually surprised that Suzuka got released in this with the current state of the AI. Laguna Seca is perfectly serviceable, that's fine, nothing really much wrong with that, but I'd avoid Suzuka if I was you. As we're going to jump into the next Ferrari now. The 488 Challenge Evo then, and you can tell that this one is a proper race car. So we're following them round in the Suzuka. This part of the circuit is fine, the AI handle it perfect, it's just the start, which it is a shame because it is a great track to race, but you're just not going to be able to do it at the moment. Alright, so we're going to follow them through. Down towards 130R. 7th gear, we're going to run it wide, we've dropped down to 5th. Couldn't hold it flat out. It's going to be us finishing in 3rd place, I think. Decent result. Yep, that's 3rd place for us. But the AI just can't help themselves but go on the grass. It is a shame. A real shame. But the next Suzuka track we're trying is fine because it skips all this front part where they do mess up. So. Oh, we got too good a start there. Now this is a car that I think everyone's going to enjoy. The Ford Cosworth. It's the Escort, obviously. And we're on the Suzuka West where the AI actually do work because it's mainly around that first corner where we all have the errors. I'll give them a little nudge there. Give them a bigger nudge. But yeah, I do love the H-pattern shifter, and I'll tell you what, people will say negatives about this because it is early access, but they've already got a fantastic selection of cars. You've seen them all so far, and it's only going to get better and better, isn't it? So run it very deep through there, but hopefully get a better exit. I mean, look at that. The Escort Cosworth, everyone loves it. You got a nice view as we went past. Look at the dash. It's exactly the same as my my old P-Reg Fiesta, my first ever car, so it's like being at home a little bit. So we do really well around the outside of them there. But let's move on then. We'll jump in the Honda S2000 for this second lap then. another H-pattern car, and it's convertible, so it's quite a nice difference. You've got to be careful in these, because if you downshift too far, you will spin it out. You've got to make sure you're getting slow enough before you lift that clutch up, as we've made a right hash of that. Oh, that's going to be terrible. Well, we're so far behind now, we might as well just take a look at the lovely car. It's actually nice to drive. I didn't give it exactly a glowing reference, but we'll try and catch up with that car ahead just so we're not in last place, but I think that was too big an accident. Everything about the car is lovely. Just the driver behind the wheel that's not, to be honest with you. Oh, look, I've done it again. Downshift into the wrong gear at your peril. But yeah, that's a skill issue more than anything, so run it in too deep here as well. But yeah, it's a lovely car. Another car added to the sim that I'm going to be excited to drive. But finally, let's jump into Bathurst, shall we? Where we've got the remainder of the cars. Right, we're in the Hyundai i30 then. This is another classic road car. Not classic road car, but a road car. I was a bit worried going into Bathurst that the AI was going to be terrible at the circuit, as we leave it on the rev limiter there. That wasn't very clever. It's just another one of them comfortable cars. Nice family hatchback. Not a lot really to say. But you can just look at the front of the car. It's nothing like the Focus Cosworth, the Escort Cosworth rather, which is so clean, the dash. This an amalgamation of buttons that realistically they do make a car look ugly, I think, but sounds like a car hit smashed into the wall then. But as for this car, let's jump into the Lotus Emira, which is another lovely car, and this is going to be one that I've got a feeling people are going to love to just tour around in the open world. It is a nice car. It's got that H pattern. It's nice to drive, but this track, get into a door mount panorama on this game already. By far the best track, I think, on the game. So we take a look around the car. Got a lovely dash, lovely clear dash. Look, it's swapping up the gears, lets you know really easy. Oh, as we're going to go off into the grass a little bit. We're on track, obviously. Oh, but that's enough of this Lotus then. Let's hop into the MX-5 Cup car then. Now, this is a staple of racing, isn't it? You can't not have an MX-5. It's the second convertible, obviously. But this is definitely a better MX-5 than iRacing, in my opinion, just because of the H pattern. I know most people probably won't race with the H pattern, but I certainly will. And it's just overall a beautiful car, this. This is one that it has to be in every racing game, really, doesn't it? As we get a great exit. Hit the rev limiter though, that's not going to help us on the straight. great recreation of the MX-5. But we are going to swap into the Mercedes-AMG GT2. Now, this car around Bathurst is probably my favourite right now. The force feedback is great on the wheel. You feel like you've got control of it, and it's a monster. It might not be H-pattern, but this is a real race car as we get hit into the wall by the aggressive AI. But I tell ya, oh no, I am loving this. This AMG right here. For me, the pick of the bunch. The AI might struggle hitting walls and stuff, which that just needs retraining, as I've spoke about before. But yeah, this is a great car to drive, and I don't want to get out of it. But if you are going to make me get out of the GT2 Mercedes, then putting me in a Porsche 911 GT3 is not a bad way to go, is it? You're going to get the run on him down this straight. We're on the limiter. We are in 6th gear. For some reason, he's just hit the brakes. Now, that could have been a nasty accident. So you have got to be careful when playing with these AIs. But what car this is as well. Everyone loves a GT3. Everyone loves a Porsche. I think we've only got 2 cars left. They're not going to be as fast as the GT3, not by a long shot. So let's take a good look at this Porsche, because we're not going to be staying in it for too much longer. Take a look out the back. We're going to get round this corner. If we can get past this car. If we can, we can. If not, it doesn't matter. You can tell I just don't want to get out of the car. I don't want to get into a slower car. It is time to jump in the Toyota GR86 now. This is a car that everyone seems to love. I never quite got the fascination with it myself, but it is a good car to drive. I can't have any complaints about it. Can we take the lead? Very tricky around these sections. Very narrow. We're going to have to wait till the back straight, I think. Big hit. Have we got a slipstream? Can we pick up a slipstream? Can we get past? Now I think the AI is quite likely to brake early, so I'll be able to get past and into the lead, I think. We can just slide it down the inside. He's going to leave us the room. We're going to close the door, and that's us up into first place then. Time for the final car. We're just approaching the final lap then in the Golf GTI. What else but to finish it on? This is probably going to be one of the cars that most people start their careers in on the game. So let's see what it's like, shall we? Flappy paddle, so it's not a H pattern, so I won't be starting my career in it. But I think most people do prefer flappy paddles. We've got a big 2-second gap to the car behind. Can we get in front of this car before T2? Of course we can. roads, the cars feel very stable, very solid, and very, I'd say, easy to drive. But not because they're easy as such, it's just because they're so intuitive. Every car really, it's... So far, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed with every car. In VR, you get a good view of the interiors. It's hard to have a look around while you're racing, but... This is more of a road car than a race car. I'm sure this car's going to do plenty of laps around the Nordschleife when that comes. And drive all around the Nordschleife out when the free roam comes. We've got a lot to look forward to, but it's been a fabulous start. Bathurst's beautiful, this car's beautiful. And it's beautiful in VR as well, and I'm thoroughly impressed. I've enjoyed my driving experience. Very much so. Now you can see that the graphics is pretty good. Now as all the cars come flying past, yeah, I'm impressed. Another lovely car. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. So, what are my thoughts so far? I'm happy. I'm actually really happy with it. Now, the AI need work, because a lot of tracks that just, it ain't quite right, especially Suzuka. If you're going to race, Suzuka West, I think it is the only one that works, so that'll be the one to do it if you want to race Suzuka, but then you miss all the first part of the track, so it's not great. But yeah, AI training, that's needed. Now, VR, for me, it works really well. Now, I've got a 4080, so that might help, but I would say it's at least on par with ACC, if not actually slightly better. But there is one thing. When you swap between cars and tracks, a lot of the time I have to restart the game because it messes it up. So, and then it starts looking all blurry and horrible. So if you've seen some bad reviews, perhaps that's what they've done. And because they've chopped and changed cars that they want to race, it's done that. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with it. Obviously, I've got the roadmap behind me now. It's going to take a while. I can't wait for multiplayer. I want to get on it with some friends. But the feeling of the cars, yeah, I've got no complaints with the cars. The only thing I would say is, bring them open wheeler soon, please. Content drop 1. Let's have some sort of open wheeler, even if it's Formula V or just an open wheeler, please. Right. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. And yeah, all there is left to say is see you in a few laps. Thanks for watching.